Aloo Baingan is a potato and eggplant curry. My friend who is from Pakistan makes this curry for me and it is divine. So, of course, you need the two meatiest vegetables out there, which is potato and eggplant. And we're going to start with the eggplant. I've got 1.5 eggplants here, or if you've got one large one, just use one. I'm going to cut it into 2 centimetre chunks. Now, I want this to have a bit of body to it, and it may look a little bit chunky at this stage, but after cooking it, it will shrink a little bit. So we're just going to cut them straight down into strips first, and then in half, then line it up and then dice, just like that. Eggplants are like sponges, so they're fantastic in curries like this, particularly if you're going to be using a lot of spices like I'm going to be doing today. So once you've chopped up all your eggplant, season it with some salt and a good glug of oil and about 2 tablespoons, so be generous with it, with the oil. Okay, the salt. And then just get your hands in there and just make sure each square of eggplant is coated in the oil. All right, oven quite hot, 190 degrees. They're going to cook for 10 to 15 minutes or until they start to caramelise. Now, while they're cooking, let's get on to the base of the curry. So in a saute pan like this one, we'll add another splash of oil, about 1 tablespoon or so. And we're going to add the Holy Trinity. So that's finely chopped onion. You can grate the onion too if you like, if you want a thicker style sauce. To that we'll add garlic. So I've just minced fresh garlic, about a 2 centimetre knob of ginger that I've finely minced. And once it starts to sizzle, just give that a mix and combine that all together. I'm going to add some cumin seeds at this stage. Whenever you're cooking with whole spices, you want to add them first and then add the ground spices later on. So I'll need about 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. I love the flavour of cumin seeds. It has a real nuttiness to it. So we'll add that now. And I'm just going to continue to stir this just to make sure that those spices toast evenly. All right, while that's cooking, 1 long green chilli. I'm just going to slice it into rounds. I love adding this chilli because it's going to give a lovely pop of green. And then we'll add that with our onions and the cumin. Great. And now that that's softened up, we can add 1 can of crushed tomatoes. And we can add the other spices to this. So I have a combination of turmeric. We'll add about 1 teaspoon or a little less. And for some extra heat, if you choose, some chilli powder, and then lastly, some extra spices, those classic spices that we know, some ground cumin this time, and some ground coriander, also some pepper. All right, now this needs to cook for a while and let this become thick and rich. In that time, our eggplant should almost be cooked. All right, the eggplant has come out of the oven and let's have a look at this delicious sauce. See how thick and rich it is? That's what we're after. And now it's time to cook our potatoes. So I like to add some water, and we do need that water just to ensure that those potatoes cook all the way through. So we'll start with 1/2 cup. We'll check the potatoes. If it needs some more, then we can always add some more. These are just classic Desiree potatoes. I've cut into cubes, roughly the same size as our eggplant. Coat them in that delicious sauce, and then we'll place the lid back on. This is going to cook for a further 15 minutes or until they're almost tender. Then we can add our roasted eggplant. All right, in the last 5 to 10 minutes of cooking this curry, I added the eggplant and you can see all of the flavours have mingled. This curry is delicious as is. You can see that it's quite hearty with all the potatoes in there, the eggplant and the onions. It's just become a really nice, rich curry. However, it's also fantastic as a side to many other curries. If you wanted to do a bit of a curry buffet, you could add this to the side. And I like to serve this as is with a little pre-cooked chapatti. We'll place that on the side and a generous dollop of Raita, which is just cucumber, mint and yogurt. Place that, dollop that on the top. A sprig of mint if you have. And that right there is a beautiful vegetarian curry full of flavours thanks to all those spices.